Excellent. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wealth Warriors presentation on Sunday, the 16th of July, 2025. It's 10 p.m. in the UK. So welcome to everybody on the call. Thank you for being here with me. It's always nice to see so many friendly faces. And also those of you that are watching this on video at other times. This isn't going to be a standard presentation. Sorry, did I say Sunday? It's not Sunday, it's Wednesday. So our normal Wednesday evening presentation is just talking about the different platforms and the strategies that we can use to build them and compound them, grow them, and so on. We're not going to do that tonight. What we're going to do is just focus on one of those platforms, which is Cryptex. Part of the reason is that there's been some changes that I want to make sure everybody's aware of how that works. We've got an updated spreadsheet to talk through, and also I did a video a little while ago about just the charitable giving strategies that I've developed that didn't come out particularly well, so I want to redo that. So hopefully this video will be a replacement for that video, which would be nice. And then after the bit about Cryptex, I will switch off the recording. We can go to Q&A session, and we can talk about any other of the platforms that we're involved with. But the recording itself is just going to be about Cryptex. So what I need to do, I think, is get to the right part of the presentation. No, I won't. What I'll do is I'll start the presentation at the beginning, and I will just skip through the pages that I don't want to, that aren't relevant to what we're doing. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to say welcome to Wealth Warriors. Many of you know that I see us as being the rebel forces, trying to maintain our own independence, our own lifestyle, without too much interference from anybody else, whether it's the global banking system, whether it's global government, local government, or just anybody else. We want to live life on our terms, and that's what the whole bit about Wealth Warriors is for. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. At least that's how I see us. So just to clarify that disclaimer that I've just skipped by, the nothing I say tonight is financial advice. Okay, it's my ideas, my thoughts on Cryptex and how it works, including some strategies that I've developed. So here we are. Our third platform is Cryptex. Cryptex itself is a crypto investment company. We don't actually invest. It's not, the word investment isn't strictly true. It's a business where we pay a setup fee, and the setup fee pays for us to own a contract, a smart contract, and that smart contract does all the work for us. So hopefully we'll cover that in the next couple of slides. The headquarters is in Singapore and also in the Cayman Islands. Cryptex has been around since 2018, so it's 7 years old now. Many people have made a lot of money with Cryptex. So how it works, this is very, very clever. Basically, you pay a setup fee of either $100 or $1,000. And the setup fee is used to set up the contract. If you pay, no, I'll get into that in a minute. So you don't invest, you use the setup fee to set up the contract. The contract then loans money from a bank. And depending which contract, your contract is going to borrow $30,240 or $43,200. And the banks are more than happy for this because they've seen these contracts. They've been working with these contracts now for the last 7 years. And they know that if they give their money to this contract, that one, they're going to get paid the interest every year, and two, their money is safe because it's insured, and that they're going to get their money back at the end of the period. So they know that they're more than happy to lend this much money to that contract. The setup fee is also used to insure the loan through an insurance company, and the insurance company is quite happy to provide that insurance for this contract because they've worked with this system now for the last 7 years, so they know that if they insure these contracts, one, they don't fail. Okay, the contract always pays out at the end. There's nothing ever happens to mean the insurance company has to pay out. So for the insurance company, it really is $250 a month, $240 a month, money for old rope. They've never had to call in the insurance policy. And so they just keep raking in the money every month. They're more than happy with that. So the contract then takes that money, that money that is borrowed from the bank, and it makes profits. So this is where it's clever because your $100 isn't being invested. You're borrowing $30,000 or $43,000, and that's your fund for making more money. Therefore, it's easy to make good money when you're starting with a fund of that sort of size. You imagine if you wanted to invest in something, say Tesla stocks, okay, and would you want to put $100 in, or would you want to put $30,000 in? Well, if $30,000 is available to you, of course you want to put more money in rather than less money, because when the stock goes up, it's going to make you more profit. And that's exactly what's happening here. Now, the profits, I said earlier about the interest being paid back to the bank every year, that comes out of your profits. And I said about $240 a month going to the insurance company. That all comes out of your profits. So from day one, you're making at least enough money to pay those costs every month and every year. In fact, you make more than that because your profit then accrues and you have more and more money in the contract to make more and more profit. Eventually, what happens is the contract is paid up. At the end of the 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years, the contract is paid up. Or so the contract matures. The loan is then repaid, so the bank gets their money back. Whatever's left is yours to keep. So we'll have a look at what's left. There are basically 6 contracts available. And they're not really 6 different contracts. You've got this DeFi Hybrid 24 and a DeFi Hybrid 24 pack. They're exactly the same thing, except in this case, instead of just buying one contract or setting up one contract, you pay 10 times as much and you get 15 contracts. Okay, so that's the only difference. Apart from that, the terms and the interest and the amounts of money is exactly the same. This one's just 15 times as big as this one. Similarly with the DeFi Hybrid 36 and the DeFi Hybrid 36 pack, this one costs $100, this one costs $1,000, but you get 15 of these contracts for your $1,000. And then the DeFi Hybrid 60 is for 5 years, and the DeFi Hybrid 84 is for 7 years. They do keep talking about a DeFi Hybrid 120, which is a 10-year contract. I don't think there's enough numbers in the universe to figure out how much money you'd make if they ever introduce that contract. So starting at the top then, the contract price of the DeFi Hybrid 24 is $100. It runs for 24 months. And at the end of the 24 months, after everything's paid off, the loan interest, the insurance policy, repay the bank loan, okay, you walk away with $20,564. With the DeFi Hybrid 24 pack, you walk away with 15 times that amount. So because you've got 15 contracts, it's just that figure times 15, 308,470. With the DeFi Hybrid 36, you pay $100 and it runs for 36 months. It runs for 3 years. After everything's finished, you've repaid everything, then you walk away with $35,488. The DeFi Hybrid Pack 36, you paid $1,000, you get 15 of those contracts. So after 3 years, you end up with over $500,000. The DeFi Hybrid 60 is $100, takes 60 months, which is 5 years, and you walk away with just under $500,000 for a $100 setup fee. And the DeFi Hybrid 84, $100 setup fee, runs for 7 years, and you walk away with just a touch under $1.5 million. Okay, so this is a little bit about my journey with Cryptex. I started with one contract. I wasn't sure about it to start with, so I fully understand people say, oh, is this real? Does it really work? What's this all about? It looks a bit incredible. And that's where I was. So I decided to get in. I put $100 in because my reasoning is I'm not short of $100. If I'm going to get $35,000, if there's a potential to get $35,000 by putting in $100, I'm going to take it. Okay. And if something goes wrong and I lose $100, the upside with trading and with a lot of things in life, you have a reward to risk ratio. And you say, well, if I put in this much money with the potential to make that much money, then if I can double my money or three times my money, if I've got three times the reward to one times the risk, I'm happy with that. Most people in business, most people trading and so on will be happy with a 3 to 1. A lot of people are very happy with a 2 to 1 if they're not particularly adventurous. So if you've got the potential to risk $100 for the possibility of getting $35,000, my feeling is I'm going to take that. I understand some people don't want to. That's fine. But now, after 24 months, and in fact, this contract is 24 months old in about 2 days' time. Uh, so I started with $100. I've got $17,000 worth of profit there. So if everything stopped right now and they didn't make any more money for the next year, I would still have $17,849, and I'm earning $56 every day. So I'm not going to go into how to read this chart, just suffice to say this is the loan I originally borrowed, or the contract borrowed. That's the profit that's been made with that loan, and all of that together now, this is what is earning me money right now. It's the combination of the profit that's in there plus the loan that I made in the first place. Okay, and you can see that my last profit there was 0.1%, 0.1% per day. Not a huge amount, but it's based on a huge amount of money compared to the 100 that I put in. So after 1 year, I added some more $100 packages, and this is where my recent profits from these. So I've got 9 contracts. So my recent profit is this. My last profit in percentage across all of my contracts was 0.11%. Again, I've got, I forget how much I've got in all of my contracts together. It's something like $350,000. So my profit on that yesterday was $500. So I've only put $900 in. I'm earning $500 a day. Last week, the whole week, Monday to Friday last week, I made over $2,500. And last month, I think the month of June, I made nearly $11,000 on all of the contracts that have only cost me $900. So I want to talk about strategies now, because very often people say, well, this all looks very interesting. What do I do? And the first answer, of course, is exactly what I did. If you want to, of course, all these strategies are optional. They're just sort of off the top of my head. You can invent your own strategies. There's no reason why not. But this is to try and open your mind to different possibilities of different things. But this, I think, is when most people start. They think, I'm not too sure about this. It looks a bit hinky, but I've got $100. I will give $100 a go. And so strategy one is a small one-off investment. You invest $100, so your total outlay is $100. And after 3 years, you get back $35,288. Okay, it doesn't matter. That figure might have changed slightly. And then when you get that back out, you can reinvest $100. Okay, so there you go. It's a small one-off investment, which I think is a great small one-off investment. I don't know of anything else where you can put $100 in today, and in 3 years' time, you get back $35,000. I don't know anything else that can do that. So the large one-off investment is basically looking at those packs of contracts. So instead of $100, you put $1,000 in. And a lot of people like to start there. $1,000 isn't a huge amount of money for some people. It is for some people, but if it's not, then you might want to start with $1,000. And the reason you might want to start with $1,000 is because right away, as soon as you put your money in, you get a 50% uplift. So instead of getting 10 contracts, you get 15 contracts straight away. Straight away, you've got 50% increase in your amount that you've deposited. So after 3 years, those 15 contracts will earn you $529,000, over $500,000 after 3 years. So that's why you might think, well, $1,000 in, $500,000 out. Thank you very much. I'll have some of that. And these are all based on just on the 3-year contracts, of course. So the 2-year contracts, the 5-year contracts, and the 7-year contracts. Um, I've done small one-off investments with all of the different contracts. Uh, a little while ago, I said, well, I want to do something for my grandchildren. They're just 10 years old now. In 7 years' time, they're going to be getting ready to either leave school and start their own businesses, or leave school and go on to university. So what I did is I put $100 into each of the 7-year plans, which will return me $1.5 million on each of those two plans, and I'll be quite able then to provide that money to help my grandchildren get off to a good start, either in their own business or um, well, help them develop their own investment portfolio, or help them get to go through university and come out the other end without owing a small fortune for the next 20 or 30 years of their life. So this one, strategy 3, small ongoing income. So this is different from the one-off investment. This is an ongoing income. And so what this is again, this is just ideas off the top of my head. And you might say, well, I can actually make a small investment 4 times a year. I've got $100 4 times a year. So I'm going to buy a 3-year contract on the 1st of January, 1st of April, 1st of July, or 1st of October every year. So then after 3 years, your total outlay is only $1,200 over a 3-year period. There's not a huge amount of money for an investment portfolio. After 3 years, you start withdrawing $35,000 every quarter, which means your annual income is $141,000 per year. And of course, as you withdraw those $35,000, you take out another 3-year contract with some of those proceeds. So it then becomes an ongoing income. Every single quarter, then, for the rest of your life, you can withdraw $35,000. So that's a small ongoing income of $140,000 a year. Not wealthy yet, but quite comfortable. I'd imagine most of us would be quite comfortable struggling by with $140,000 a year income. So the fourth strategy is what I call a medium ongoing income. So still not a huge amount of money. It's $100, but it's every month. So $100 every month. And after 3 years, your total outlay is $3,600. Most people spend more than that on their hobbies every year, or certainly over a 3-year period. And after 3 years, you can then start withdrawing $35,000 every single month, which means your annual income is $423,000. Now, that's not a millionaire income, but you can live a millionaire lifestyle with $423,000 per year coming in. Somebody once told me that if you have an income of $20,000 per month, nobody can tell the difference between your lifestyle and the lifestyle of a millionaire or even a multimillionaire, because you can drive the same cars, go to the same places for dinner, you'll go to the same shows, you'll live in the same type of house, go on the same type of holidays, and so on and so forth. So your lifestyle at that sort of income would be absolutely identical with a millionaire or a multimillionaire. And then, of course, every month when you cash in your $35,000, you just take out another $100 contract for over a 3-year period. And bear in mind, you could do this over 5 years or 7 years. You could do this over two years if you wanted to. And the shorter periods, the money decreases slightly, but the longer periods, the money increases very, very dramatically. So strategy 5 is a lifetime ongoing income. And I call it that because this is very, very significant. This is where you might say, well, actually, I'm in a position in life where I'm earning enough money to be able to put every single week, when I get my wages, when I get paid, every single week, I can afford to put $100 aside. A lot of people do this with savings plans for Christmas. They a layaway plan, or a Christmas club plan, or whatever you like. Some people put away $100 every week, and then at Christmas they would have $5,000, and that pays for the food and the drink and the presents and the new tree and everything else. So it's kind of like that. But what I'm saying is, instead of instead of saving it for Christmas, you actually keep doing this $100 a week for 3 years. And after 3 years, you've actually put into those contracts 15,600. So that's a big commitment. But for somebody who understands this, they might be willing to do that. After 3 years, then you would be able to withdraw $141,000 every single month. So you would have of those $35,000 contracts maturing every single month, and then every third month you would have five in the month. Just the vagaries of the calendar we use, which means your income would be 1.8 million per year. Okay, now for an outlay of $100 every week to end up in 3 years' time, an ongoing income every single year of 1.8 million, that's pretty phenomenal. That's pretty significant. And what's happened here is all you've done is taken a basic product that's being offered by Cryptex, and you've applied a strategy that you like to that product. And instead of just getting $100 or a certain amount of money after 3 years, you've actually turned it into an income that would make you one of the wealthiest people in the town where you live. So these are the strategies that I developed for charitable giving. A lot of people, when I talk about money, they tend to feel I'm a materialistic person. Nothing could be further from the truth. If we could live in a world where we don't have money, I think we'd all be a lot happier. We'd certainly all be a lot better off. We'd have better health, better peace of mind, and so on. However, there are certain things I like, which are, food, drink, paying my bills, electricity, a car, a house to live in, things like that. And unfortunately, the people that have those things, when I want to go and get those things, say from the store or from the shop, I want to go there and fill up my trolley and bring stuff away for me to eat. I tried saying to them, look, I know you want paying, but I'm not a materialistic person. I don't believe in money. They said, that's brilliant. We'll just take this stuff off you and put it back on the shelves then. You can't have it if you're not going to give us any money. So I'm not the materialistic one. It's them. They're the materialistic ones. And they've got the things I want. So I've got to get some money so I can give it to them to get the things I want. But I do like the idea of making more than you need, or for me to make more than I need to give to other people. I think living is giving. I honestly believe that we should give not to the detriment of ourselves and our loved ones and dependents and so on, but don't limit ourselves to that. It's much easier instead of saying, well, this is the boundaries of my income. So now I've got to try and carve out a slice of the pie, maybe 10% of the pie has to go somewhere else. I've never done that. What I say is, this is how much I need, including the 10%. So now I'm going to go and make that much money. I've not tried to fit my charitable giving into the small pie that I had, based on what I was doing within my comfort zone. I've always said, let's get a bigger pie. Okay, then I can give 10% quite happily, quite with impunity, if you like. And it might not be 10%. You might just like to give some money once in a while. But I'll tell you what would do your heart really good the next time you see a busker, if you chucked $100 in the pot and just watch the smile on their face. That would cheer you up. I was talking to a lady a while ago who, what she does every once in a while, she goes stand at the checkout tills of her local supermarket. And when people come through, certain people, she just picks on certain people. And just as they're about to pay, she walks up and says to the cashier, it's okay, I'll pay for that. And so she hands over her credit card and pays for somebody's groceries. And I don't know how she chooses the people she gives things to, but she just loves doing that. It fills her with life and importance, and just sort of purpose. She just loves doing that. So you can't do that if you don't have money. And of course, the other thing is that somebody pointed out to me that the Good Samaritan. Many of you know the story of the Good Samaritan in the Bible, and the story goes that the Good Samaritan came across somebody who'd been waylaid by bandits on the road, beaten up, concussed, and the Good Samaritan picked the guy up, carried him to the nearest inn, and said, "Look after him, feed him, clothe him, tend to his wounds, get him looked after, get him better. I'll be back here's a load of money. I'll be back in a month, and if you need some more money, I'll pay you then." Okay. The guy couldn't have done that if he didn't have money. So having money doesn't make you a materialistic person. It's your attitude towards the money. Okay, so strategy six, charitable giving. With this strategy, what we're talking about is to invest $100 in strategy one. Strategy one, you just put in $100, you get $35,000 in 3 years' time. So with that profit, so far it's cost you $100. After 3 years, you get hold of 352 people. I don't know about you. I know plenty of people who get hold of it and say, listen, I'm a poor farmer in Africa, or I'm a poor fisherman in the Philippines, or whatever it is. Can you support me? And what I generally do is I support them with buying them a contract, buying them a booster, buying them staking some money for them, whatever it is I'm doing to make my money. I take some of my money and I get them started in that same business. So imagine you do that and you have 352 people and you buy them all a $100 contract. So that's cost you $35,000. Only it hasn't, because those 352 people, based on the fact that you've introduced those people to Cryptex, and so you give them all that money and they buy a contract each. You then receive commissions from Cryptex for having 352 people put in $100 each. So you receive back $10,560. So you set out to spend 35,000 and you can't do it. You've still got $10,000 left. Bummer. Not very good at giving away all this money, are you? So let's imagine you don't do anything else with that 10, that you don't think, well, I'm going to get myself another 105 people and do the same again and then earn some more commissions and I'm going to get myself another 32 people or whatever it is. Okay, you don't do that. You just say, right, that's done. So after 3 years, 352 people are going to receive $35,000 each. Now, can you imagine these people in these communities, these peasant farmers or peasant fishermen or whatever they, wherever they are in life, the people that have asked for your support, can you imagine how you would change their lives, the lives of their families by them receiving $35,000 in 5 years' time? Sorry, in 3 years' time. Okay, it would be a tremendous change. And then what they could do is they could take over your charitable giving and they could use that $35,000 to fund two or three people in their, in their community, to let them earn $35,000. And if they do the same as you would have, they could easily have 352 people just in their village all receiving $35,000 in 3 years' time. Could you imagine what that would do to their local economy? So after 3 years, all of these people have received $35,000, but that's not the end of it for you, because you also get, through the Cryptex commission system, if you've introduced somebody who takes out a contract, when that contract matures and they get their payout, you will also receive a payout. It's only a very small payout, but if you've got 352 people all receiving $35,000, your commission on that will be about $1 million, roughly. So to start with, you tried to give away $35,000 and you couldn't. You still had 10,000 left over. And then at the end, all the money you did manage to give away has made you another $1 million. So your charitable giving, it becomes on turbocharge, it becomes, charitable giving on steroids, because you can't give your money away fast enough. Imagine what you could do with $1 million that you received as part of your charitable giving that you now want to play back into giving some more stuff. Imagine who you could help. I was looking at something that I mentioned Tesla earlier. Tesla now are producing a modular home, and this modular home costs about $10,000. So how many homeless people could you take off the streets and give them their own home if you had an extra $1 million, so you weren't even expecting? There is an answer. I can't think what the answer is, but it's a lot. It's certainly more than if you don't have $1 million. So I like this about charitable giving, and I'm going to get into the next one, and then we're going to stop talking about Cryptex. This is a step up. So, or no, it's not even a step up. It's just a different way of doing the same thing. So, take $100, put it in strategy one. You get, in 3 years' time, you get $35,000. Now, I don't know. I said earlier about by 352 people a $100 contract. Um, but I don't know 352 people. I probably struggle to get 35 people, but I could do that, I guess. So after 3 years, when I've got $35,000, I'm going to find myself a group of 35 people, and I'm going to buy them a $1,000 pack of contracts. These are 3 year $1,000 contracts. So I'll get 15 contracts. Now, when I do that, because I now have 35 people that I've introduced and they've all purchased $1,000 pack of contracts, I will receive commissions of $10,500. So again, I still can't give all my money away. But then what happens is after 3 years, those 35 people will receive over $500,000. And again, if we're talking about what good could they do in their community, can you imagine some of these disadvantaged people in different communities around the world all of a sudden receiving $500,000? Can you imagine what that would do for their local economy? Okay. They could then take over your charitable giving and start giving other people $1,000 packs of contracts. Now, after 3 years, as I said, when they receive their payout, you get paid an end of contract profit, a share of the profits. So again, you receive $1.5 million. And the reason it's almost half as well, it is exactly half as much again, is because you haven't just got 35 people with 10 contracts, you've got 35 people with 15 contracts. So you get 1.5 million yourself. So you tried to give away $35,000, couldn't give it all away because you've got some commissions at the front end. Then at the back end, you've got another 1.5 million, and you can't give this stuff away. If you just apply your mind to it, you can't give all your money away and think of all the good you're doing as well around the world. So I think that's the end of the Cryptex part. There is a landing page you can go to. Most of you if you're already registered in Cryptex, you have a landing page. If you don't get hold of the person who introduced you, they'll show you how to get the landing page. This video is on the landing page and you can watch it, and it shows you somebody withdrawing $400,000 in Bitcoin at the end of their contract. Okay, there's the link there's the link for the landing page, and you swap out where it says your wallet ID, you swap it out for your wallet ID from Cryptex. So there we go. And I'm not going to talk about the next platform. I'm going to go back to the room now. I'm going to switch off the recording. We can get into a Q&A then, and we can talk about the other platforms if you want to. So just to finish off this recording, I'm going to say thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that explained a little bit about how Cryptex works, why it's such an exciting project, and the different strategies, or some strategies. Of course, you can come up with your own, come up with as many different strategies as you like. They're just a few thoughts to get your brain juices going and try to stimulate your imagination a little bit to see what you can do for yourself, for your own life with Cryptex. So we're going to do this presentation again, maybe not the Cryptex one, but we'll do the whole set of platforms we're involved with on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock UK time, 10 p.m. And we do our normal Wealth Warriors presentation on Sunday evening at 10 p.m. UK time, where we explain the philosophy and the reasoning behind Wealth Warriors, who we are, why we do what we do, how it's going to help you generate your personal and generational wealth going forward. So why we do things differently, because we want different results. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for your attention and God bless. I'll see you on the next presentation.